Hey, fourth grade, you need your thin number corner book and you need to open up to page 42. On page 42, we are going to be taking a closer look at the calendar marker pattern for January. There is a secret emoji in this video, so make sure you're watching the whole thing to double check your work and so that you can tell me what the secret emoji is right on this line. The first thing we need to do on page 42 is fill in the chart to show the name of each shape above and the area in square units. But before we start naming these shapes, there are a few new shape names that we need to talk about. When we're naming triangles, there are three names that we can use. The first name is an equilateral triangle. And an equilateral triangle has three equal sides and three equal angles. The second kind of triangle is an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle only has two sides that are equal and only has two angles that are equal. Our third triangle is a scalene triangle, and this doesn't have any equal sides. They are all different lengths, and all of the angles are different measurements. Now, when we have an isosceles right triangle, it has one right angle, two sides that are equal, and only two angles that are equal. A scalene right triangle also has that one right angle, the perfect 90-degree angle, but none of the sides are equal and none of the angles are equal to each other. When two shapes are similar, they have exactly the same shape but different sizes. When two shapes are congruent, they have the same shape and the same size. And a parallelogram is a shape with four sides with two pairs of parallel sides. So the opposite sides are parallel to each other. There's one set, and the next pair of opposite sides are also parallel. That's two sets. So a normal rectangle is considered a parallelogram. And our last shape is a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a shape with four sides, but it only has one set of parallel sides. And the other pair they're not parallel to each other. All right, let's go back to our chart and let's start filling it out. Let's take a look at shape number 1. When it's talking about the shape, it's talking about the colored part on the grid. So if we look at this little pink shape, what shape do we think that is? If you were thinking a rectangle, you are absolutely correct. So you can put rectangle under the first shape name. But now we have to find the area of that tiny rectangle. So if we know that one square unit looks like one of these little squares, how much of that one square unit is this rectangle taking up? It's only taking up half of the square unit. So the area of that little rectangle is 1/2. All right, let's look at shape number 2. Shape number 2 is right here. What shape do we think that is? This shape is also a rectangle. And if we look at the area, this rectangle is taking up 2 square units. So our area is 2. All right, now is where our triangle vocabulary is going to be really helpful. Let's take a look at card number 3. Notice this shape here. Right. So we know that this is some sort of a triangle, right? But if we look back at our vocabulary, what kind of triangle do we think this is? Well, we know it is a right triangle because it has one right angle. And we can also see that two of the sides, this side and this side, are equal. They are the same length. So this shape name is an isosceles right triangle. And we need to figure out how much space this little triangle takes up. If we look at the total one square unit, how much of that one square unit is it taking up? taking up about half of the square unit. So the area is 1/2. Shape number 4. Shape number 4, if you've noticed this pattern, the smaller shape matches the larger shape. So this shape is also an isosceles right triangle. But this time the shape is a little bit bigger, so we have to figure out what the area could be. Already I see that there is 1 square unit here. But now I need to figure out what I have left. If I have another half of a square unit here and a half right here, what do I have in total? The area of shape number 4 is 2. If I put this half over next to this half, it would make another 1 whole, which means I would have 2 square units. All right, shape number 5. Shape number 5. What do we think? Let's go back to our vocabulary. We know it's not a triangle because it doesn't have only 3 sides. So it's got to be a parallelogram or a trapezoid. Does this shape have 2 sets of parallel sides, 2 pairs of parallel sides, or just 1 pair? This shape has 2 pairs of parallel sides. This side is parallel to this side, and this side down here is parallel to this side, which means this shape is a parallelogram. There we go. And the area of this shape is, what do we think? We've got 1/2 here and a half here. 1/2 plus 1/2 gives us 1 whole. So the area of shape number 5 is 1. All right, shape number 6, you guessed it, it is also a parallelogram because it's matching card number 5. But the area is different because it's a little bit bigger. We see we've got 1 hole here. We've got another hole here, so that's 2. Now we have a half and another half, which makes 3. Another half and another half gives us an area of 4. All right, 7. We've got a new shape at 7. We can see this is a triangle. But look at our triangles on the left side. Which triangle do you think it is? Notice the right angle. It's got to be one of our right angles. But if you look at the length of the sides, none of these sides are the same length. So it has to be a scalene right triangle. And the area, if we look at number 7, ooh, this one's a little trickier. So we can see that this square unit is not filled up. But what if we put this little piece in the blank? Would that match up? It would. So we have 1 square unit. Card number 8 is matching card number 7, so we've got that same shape name, the scalene right triangle. And I am going to give you a second to try and find the area of card number 8 of this shape. The secret emoji for today is an island. For shape number 8, you should have gotten an area of 4 square units. I want you to try to find the shape name for shape number 9 and shape number 10. Remember, it's going to be the same shape because they are similar. They are the same shape but different sizes. I also want you to find the area of both of these shapes. And for number 2, you're going to list at least 4 different mathematical observations about the pattern so far. What do you notice is happening in this pattern? You can use some of those vocab words to help you out. Once you've done that, you can submit a picture to Schoology.